You've just got back from holidays, you're a happy chappy, and you decide you're going to tackle that skills matrix. Well done. It is not an easy task, but we can make it a lot easier if you understand the processes that go behind building skills matrix. I'm Kareena, and I'm the founder of Onecard Group, and we provide specialist software solutions to help companies manage their training and license records. We have software for small companies, large companies, service platforms, but whatever we're working with, the processes are quite the same. And we thought we would take some time and explain them to administration staff out there to help you have an understanding and try and make your life a little bit easier, because managing a skills matrix is nothing short of an administrative nightmare. And this is because you are dealing with constantly complex data that never ends. And often you have systems that don't actually do the full end-to-end tasks that are needed. So whether you have a spreadsheet, a plug-in to a safety or HR system, or you're getting ready to onboard with us, the process is going to be the same. So let us share it. So today we're going to look at part one, which is just getting started and getting an understanding of what needs to be on your skills matrix. So I relate building a skills matrix like painting a wall. Now, I'm a very, very impulsive interior decorator. And I learned many years ago that slapping on some paint is not the way to do it. While it looks good, it starts to look pretty bad pretty quickly. And your skills matrix is like that. If you get your spreadsheet out, spend all this time getting it really nice, or putting data into your digital system, unless you have a process for collecting and maintaining these records, it is going to look pretty crap pretty soon. And it's actually quite dangerous because you start reading bad data. And I love the saying, torture the data, it will confess to anything. So, and that's so true on your matrix. If your matrix is out of date, it's going to look like everybody's got green ticks, but actually they aren't compliant. So let's get this right at the start. So the first thing you're going to do is that you're going to write down all the roles that are in your company. Now, these are different from positions. So all companies have, and I suppose one of the things I want to explain is the difference between a position description, which most companies will have, and a role description, which very few companies have. So a position description is an overarching document that says, if you want to do this in our company, you need to have this length of skills, you need to have these attributes, you need to have this qualification, you need to have this license and this certificate. If you base your skills matrix on that, you are non-compliant, because a skills matrix and what you are required under work health and safety is a lot more than a position description. We actually put it into 3 categories. So if you get a piece of paper, again, your piece of paper, and do 3 horizontal lines, put the information from your position description in the top. Okay, so that is the starting place. Okay, just make sure your position description is in date, because they tend to be a little bit of dead documents too. They're made when you've got started a project and then you pick up extra work and they're not sort of adjusted. So the next thing you've got to look at is what your company is legally responsible for training and assessment, and what your company's policies and procedures say that they're going to do. So I've seen some pretty horrible things where in procedures they said everyone's got to have a first aid certificate, and nobody in the company's got a first aid certificate. So let's go through your policies and procedures, talk to your safety department, talk to your HR department, and build a skilled profile of what people need to keep your company legally compliant. So these might be inductions, safety training, manual task training. It might be refreshers. It also should include your critical work instructions on your matrix, and any VOCs, which is validation of competency. So if you're employing people and they've got a high-risk license or they're using machinery or equipment, you should be documenting that your supervisors or your team leaders have made sure that they actually can use that equipment and they're still current. So these things need to be documented in your skills matrix. And when you're documenting them, we'll talk about this in another podcast, there has to be consistency of naming, or else you'll get yourself really confused. But we'll talk about naming conventions in a later podcast. So you've got all this information together. the last thing you need is that if you do send your employees off-site to client sites, you need to go through the contracts that you have with your clients to see what they need. So clients will always want an induction to their facilities. They might have different safety that they need you to do. They might have this different VOCs. This needs to be in your matrix as well. So when you've got all this information, you're ready for the next step, which is, where's our records? So come back to us, and when you've got all that, reach out if you need some advice. You know, talking to us is free. Non-compliance is not. Okay, so next podcast, we're going to focus on where are our records. Okay, lovely to talk to you. See you soon.